Welcome to HealthWatch, presented by Novant Health. I'm your host, June Baker. Our show features local physicians and health professionals discussing health topics of importance to local residents. Today, we will meet Desiree Dunstan and Kevin Hodge to learn about the AirLink aircraft that is now located on the Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center campus, which will serve the Brunswick community. And then we'll be joined by Dr. Joshua Winslow, cardiologist with Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center. Finally, Christy Williamson of the Brunswick Beacon will share information on this year's Health Expo. Stay tuned to learn about valuable health topics with HealthWatch. First, let's welcome Desiree Dunstan of Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center and Kevin Hodge of New Hanover Regional Medical Center. Welcome to the show today, guys. It's such a pleasure to have both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really excited about today's show because I think this is a great opportunity for our community. It's a great event for us. So we're going to learn more about the New Hanover Regional Medical Center AirLink aircraft, and it's now stationed at the Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center. So before we jump into it, though, I want to introduce you all to our viewers and tell me about your roles at your various facilities. So Desiree, let's start with you.
Hello, my name is Desiree Dunstan, Director of Professional and Support Services at Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center. And there, I'm pretty much the operations director for the hospital.
Big job.
Big job.
Big job. Big job. How about you, Kevin? What is your role at New Hanover Regional Medical Center?
Yes, ma'am. My role at New Hanover is I'm the program manager, chief flight nurse, so I essentially oversight all operations for our ground and air critical care transport teams.
Great. That's a big job, too, and I'm really excited to get into that because I want to hear all about that. But so I understand that Novant Health and New Hanover Regional Medical Center have partnered to bring the AirLink aircraft to Brunswick County, and it will be stationed at Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center. So tell me, Desiree, a little bit more about that new service.
Well, we're really happy to have that new service on site. We've always been in a partnership with New Hanover Medical Center. We don't consider ourselves competitors. We've been in partnership for years. So this just helped enhance our partnership because most of our patients do get transferred to New Hanover. And this is just going to make it a lot easier and a lot quicker for patients to get there.
Well, it's really great to see that kind of partnership working because I think that's what it takes a village to take care of the health care of our citizens. So Kevin, tell me what this really means for patients.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think from a patient standpoint, we are able to collaborate with our partner Novant to actually facilitate rapid transport of those patients that are really time sensitive. And when we're talking about time sensitivity, that's not just the immediate crisis, but we're also talking about outcomes and quality. So a great example of that would be a patient in the community having a heart attack where they need that vessel open to the heart to promote the blood flow. And I think by access to rapid transport, that allows them to kind of acquire that definitive care, which hopefully will allow them to be discharged and re-enter back into the community whole and intact.
Right, right. Well, I'm curious, will the aircraft only transport patients from the hospital, or would it go out into the community as well?
Yeah, that's also a great question. It's not just stationed there at the hospital to serve the hospital-to-hospital transports.
Oh, okay.
We've had a long-standing relationship with the local EMS service with Brunswick County for many, many years, and we've worked very well with them to go out to the scenes of accidents. Sometimes we will go to the beaches for drownings, etc. So yes, it's there to serve both hospitals as well as the local community in regards to EMS scene responses as well.
Wow, that's fabulous. And now it's closer by, and yeah, that is great. So will all the patients that are picked up by the Airlink, would they be transported to New Hanover Regional Medical Center?
Absolutely not. So our goal or mission is to get all patients to the care that they need. So we don't apply a cookie cutter approach to this. It's very individualistic. So if they need a burn center, we're going to take them to a burn center.
Wow,
If
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, we will go throughout the region. It's not just to pull patients back to New Hanover, it's to get what that patient needs for them.
Oh my, that is so awesome. I can't get over that. Well, Desiree, from your perspective, tell us how you think this new service helps improve care here in Brunswick County.
Well, I think the fact that we'll have that rapid approach to getting patients where they need to be is going to be key to a patient's health and their success in whatever they're going through at this time. So just knowing, it's a peace of mind,
Yes,
especially
it's
for
a
the
peace-
ED docs,
Exactly.
to know that we have New Hanover Airlink right there, that if something happens, they're right there, they'll jump on it, go get the patient and take them where they need to be. So that just takes a lot of the waiting out of
It
the
does. It makes
process.
me feel better to know that that service is there right now.
Well, and the other thing about that is it kind of prevents that segmentation of care. So when I talk about segmentation, I'm talking about let's not just do a stop-start kind of concept.
Right.
It's collectively, we're not taking away from the excellence of Novant because it's
Oh,
always
no.
been there. We're just adding to that, and I think that's very important to understand
Absolutely.
about that collaboration.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
nice. Well, initially, the service is available at certain hours, I believe, but it seems like every time I go past the hospital, it's there, or it's in the air. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so originally when we looked at expanding and collaborating here in Brunswick County, we looked at a bunch of data. And the reason we did that was because we wanted to make sure that that resource was available for what we call throughout the industry as peak times. And what does that mean? Does that mean that people don't have illness or injury out of those peak times? Absolutely not. But what we wanted to do is be able to provide that service to the majority of patients. So we pulled data from the hospital, we pulled data from our records with the scene responses we had done with the local EMS service, and also pulled some data from the local EMS service to see when they were actually transporting high acuity patients. So that's kind of how that came to be. Our future model, if the demand is there, the need is there throughout a 24-hour period, we would look to expand that service for a complete 24-hour period. But that's future goal,
That's
future
great.
vision.
Well, I know that probably not every case requires Airlink transport, but what would be some of the common types of medical cases that would lead Airlink to transport a patient?
Sure, and I think I alluded to this earlier in the conversation when I gave the example about the patient having the heart
the heart
attack.
attack.
Really how we look at it is any time-sensitive illness or injury. So we're talking about traumatic injuries that would require emergent access to an OR, heart patients that require access to interventional cardiology, neurological patients, stroke victims that require access to intervention to open up those vessels. And they're really, truly, when you look at that subcategory of patients, time really is of essence. You know, every minute that passes by means that the patient may not have neurological function, or you know, they may have extensive rehab needs. We also transport a lot of pediatric patients requiring intensive care services or intensive services, high risk OB, and those are kind of things that when we think of helicopter, we probably are thinking about populations that they're really, really sick, or they really need to go somewhere really fast.
So let's talk a little bit about the helicopter itself and who's on it and what services they can provide. Kevin, can you tell me how many people are on that helicopter?
Yeah, so on a typical day, we staff a pilot, a single pilot, and then we have 2 healthcare providers. The 2 healthcare providers are a registered nurse and a critical care transport paramedic. Combined, on an average day, we probably have anywhere from 30 to 50 years of experience on that aircraft. When you look at the options or the capabilities of the helicopter, what makes it different from a ground ambulance is obviously speed. We can get lifting from the helipad at the hospital to New Hanover is 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. So it's extremely quick. We also carry advanced equipment. It's essentially an ICU in the air. So any medication that you would pretty much get on the ground, you can get it delivered in the aircraft. They can pace, they can defibrillate, they can secure airways, they can manage airways, and we also include not only blood products, but we also added plasma to that as well just recently. So we're one of the few air providers in the state and nation that provide both packed blood cells as well as fresh frozen plasma. And where does that come into play? It comes into play with our trauma patients. So, you know, every minute essentially counts if they're going to survive, and being able to add that capability and skill set to it may make the difference.
Wow, that is truly amazing. I didn't realize how much equipment and so forth that you would carry on there. You could pretty much do anything. So
yeah, and how we partner on a patient that's critically ill is that we stabilize the patient first, and then call for air transport if necessary.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that's what we were referring earlier of, we're not displacing care.
Right.
We're building on the culture of excellence that you guys have well established throughout the community. So it's a great partnership where collectively working together, we get the greatest outcome for the patient. And
Absolutely.
I love that. I love
Perfect.
that.
Well, I can't tell you how interesting this has been, and I hope to have you back again and we can do a follow-up on all this, see how it's working. But thank you both so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, let's welcome Dr. Joshua Winslow of New Hanover Regional Medical Center Physician Group, Cape Fear Heart Associates. Dr. Winslow, thank you so much for being with us today. It's just a pleasure to have you, and I'm really excited to learn about you. I understand that you recently joined New Hanover Regional Medical Center's Cape Fear Heart Associates. Is that correct?
I did. I just joined, and I took over the Brunswick office, and I'm working at the Brunswick Medical Center and as the cardiologist for Cape Fear Heart.
Right, and you're now on our official medical staff at Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center, so we're excited about that.
So am I.
So, so our viewers can get to know you a little bit. Let's share with us your education and some of your background and your experience.
I went to college at Hobart College in upstate New York, where it's very snowy right now.
Yes, it is.
Graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Biology, and I applied for medical school, and I went to Jefferson Medical College in Philadelphia.
Nice. Yeah.
And I did a scholarship program to pay for medical school, the Health Professional Scholarship Program with the Army. So I did my training in the Army, so I went to Hawaii, Triple Army Medical Center for my residency.
Oh, that was a real, that was hard, wasn't
My
it?
wife really enjoyed it. And then I did my cardiology fellowship at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio for 3 years. And then I did my 5-year payback as a cardiologist in the Army at, in El Paso, Texas at Fort Bliss.
Wow, wow. And did you come here directly from Texas?
No, I did private practice stint for 12 years. I ended up on Jersey Shore near Red Bank and practiced there for 12 years, and now I'm transitioning down here.
So you like the shores, right?
I do.
You were from the Jersey Shore to the North Carolina shores.
I do. It's very, it's a great quality of life.
It is a great quality of life here. It's just a wonderful place to live. So tell me a little bit about your clinic.
So I work in the clinic right across from the hospital at Brunswick Medical Center
it's
in
right
the
on our campus.
Right there, walk just 200 yards away.
That's great.
And my office is fully staffed. We have we do all our non-invasive imaging there, our nuclear stress tests, all our echoes and vascular studies, including carotids and abdominal aorta studies. We do, and I see my patients there. We have a device clinic there. It's pretty much a full-service office.
And you're at the Brunswick office full-time?
I've been hired full-time to take over that office.
That's wonderful. Oftentimes, there might be an opportunity where there wasn't a cardiologist there. To have somebody there full-time is great.
Right, full-time. I do half day in the office, and I go over and around in the Brunswick Hospital and manage the inpatient service there too.
That's awesome. And you work with the hospitalist team there?
Yes, I do, on a daily basis. I see them more than my wife.
Do your partners also see patients in the Brunswick office?
I've replaced a lot of the slots from the people that used to transition down there, so it's primarily me. We do have once a week an electrophysiologist, subspecialist, an electrical doctor, come down and provide service in our expertise once a week. So that's very helpful.
Is that the same electrophysiologist?
No, we have. I think we have 5 or 6 of them, and at least 4 of them rotate through there on Mondays, and that's a big help because that way you don't have to drive to Wilmington to get your specialty care.
Right. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the services offered. I know you went through those quickly, but if we could do that a little more detail. About the treatments that you can provide there at your office.
The office, full non-invasive stress tests, all the sonograms, there are echocardiograms of the heart. We have, if you have a pacemaker or defibrillator, we have our device checks there.
Okay.
And then I see my patients there too, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. When you say device checks, does that require a patient to always be with you or on site, or can it be done telephonically?
Well, they're done mostly telephonically unless it's a new device. We check it in person, and then at least once a year you have to come in for a in-person check when you have a device. So most of it's done telephonically, but we do have in-person checks at least once a year.
How about testing at Novant Health, Brunswick Medical Center? Is it possible for patients to get their necessary testing there at Novant Health?
Absolutely. All the same tests, all the nuclear stress test, echocardiogram, and all the same non-invasive tests, the carotids and the abdominal ultrasound tests are done there. And I perform them for the hospital with my nurse practitioner and read them. So the same outpatient tests are available at Novant. And then also on the inpatient side, I come in to bring some more cardiovascular care opportunities there, and one of the things is I'm implanting loop recorders, which is a recording device. It's just underneath the skin, and it's a simple procedure, but it's like a Holter monitor for 3 years. We use that specifically for people that had a stroke for no reason, and the reason why we implant it is because we're looking for atrial fibrillation, which can cause stroke, and it can come and go. And about 30% of the people that have stroke for no reason, it's called cryptogenic stroke, will have atrial fibrillation.
Oh.
And then it'll be a major change because you have to fully anticoagulate, not just platelet blockers, aspirin. You have to give them blood thinners to protect you from recurrent stroke.
On one occasion, I had to wear a Holter monitor, I think for like 24 hours or something. So this device that you implant, it does the same thing, but for a much longer period of time?
Right, and it's mainly for people you can't figure out. Obviously, you do the non-invasive, the monitoring. You have, 1-month event monitors. But if you've had a stroke, we're a little bit more aggressive if nothing's showing up and you need longer monitoring. Or for people that pass out every 6 months and we don't know why.
You don't know why.
And so it's very helpful. We brought that to the hospital. I'm also going to be starting a cardiac catheterization program at the hospital.
I heard a little bit about that actually just this morning.
Yeah. So we're going to start on a limited basis, outpatient cardiac caths. It's going to be in a mobile laboratory attached to the hospital. And then my plan is to build on that for the next 5 years.
Wow, that's great. That would be great. Well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about some health tips. I wondered if, I know I'm concerned about my heart, and I think most of our viewers are probably concerned about that. So let's talk about some health tips. What would your top recommendations for preventing heart disease be?
I think just starting. I think that if you're overwhelmed and you're not exercising, if you're smoking, you gotta start concentrating on the things that you're doing wrong. It doesn't have to be all at once.
Right.
So if you're smoking, number one recommendation is there's plenty of help. You can talk to your primary care doctor and get a plan for quitting smoking. 2. Diet, you can start simply with just if you drink soda with sugar in it or sweet tea on a regular basis, get rid of the sugar. And don't drink the soda. I've seen people lose 25 pounds in a year by just cutting out drinking soda, sugary soda.
Wow.
But of course, diet and exercise, regular exercise and diet. And I think that people that are at home and they haven't been taking care of themselves, they look at these advertisements for the models on the treadmills, and they have 0% body fat, and they said, there's no way I'm going to start that. But I think simply just doing stairs, starting out with a walking exercise program, and then a low-fat, low-cholesterol diet.
Wow. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think you just have to set your mind to making small changes and then working on those.
And then build from there. But as far as specific diets, I recommend a book by Dean Ornish, How to Reverse Heart Disease.
Okay.
And you can also see some lectures from Dean Ornish. He's the leader in preventative diet for reversing coronary artery disease.
Really?
You can actually reverse coronary artery disease with his diet. It's a very...
Is it like the Mediterranean diet?
No, it's a specific plant-based diet.
Plant-based,
and,
okay.
And it's, for reversing coronary artery disease, it's pretty restrictive. But, you can go online and to TED Talks, T-E-D, TED Talks. You can see Dean Ornish on some of his lectures, and you can get his book. Also, Michael Greger wrote a book on how not to die.
How not to die.
And,
I'm going to take note of these.
Yeah.
I'm going to look these up.
But the plant-based diet's the best. Not everybody can do it, but if you read the books, you get an understanding of what you need to cut back on at least, and try to emulate the diet as best you can.
Right. Well, that's all great information. Tell our viewers how they can make an appointment with you.
Well, our main appointment line is 662-9500, and if you're in Brunswick County, ask for the Brunswick County office.
Right.
And Dr. Joshua Winslow. I have a brother up in the main office in Wilmington, Timothy, so make sure you say my name. But I think that, you call that main office number, and of course your primary care doctor can refer you to me also.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you on campus.
Great, June, thank you.
Now we will meet Christy Williamson of the Brunswick Beacon. Welcome to the show today, Christy.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you, and every time I see you here, I know what we're going to talk about. It's that time of the year again, right? Yeah. Well, there may be somebody out there who doesn't know who you are, Christy, but I kind of doubt it. But tell us tell us more about your role at the Brunswick Beacon.
Well, my name is Christy Williamson. I have been at the Beacon for 19 years.
Oh my goodness.
I know, I grew up there, right?
Yeah.
But I work in the advertising department. I am an advertising executive, and I am our special events coordinator as well.
Yes, and we have a huge special event coming up, right?
We do. It's our favorite one of the year, right?
Yep, it's my favorite one. So we're here to talk about the Brunswick Beacon Health Expo, and it's coming up on March 23rd.
Absolutely.
Pretty soon.
We did change the date back a little this year. I know
it used to be sooner, but hurricane, right?
The hurricane pushed everything back a little bit
here in Brunswick County. So again, it's at Schlipp Middle School?
It is. Schlipp Middle School, March 23rd.
Okay, how about the times?
It is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there will be lots to do. So come on out early and be prepared to stay all day.
What time do the vendors, can they get in there to set up?
Vendors can get in starting at 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
So they can set up between 7 and 8:45.
Okay, so the doors actually open though at 9.
The doors will open at 9 o'clock.
So who can attend this event?
Everyone. There's something for everyone there.
Everybody.
So we have screenings that are available for all ages. Everything from hearing to vision, all of your blood work. So there's something for everyone to be able to participate in.
Well, the first question that everybody wants to know is, how much does it cost?
It is absolutely free. Everything inside is free.
It's always been free, hasn't it?
It has always been free. So we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to come be able to participate and see if there are any issues that they need to have further addressed with their doctors.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of those offerings. Now, you mentioned a couple. I know Novant Health is going to do several screenings, but I think there's lots of other people there that will be doing some sort of screening.
Most of our vendors do have some sort of screening or special event they will have going on at their booth. I am excited this year that we are able to add the dental bus. So we are going to be able to have dental screenings there this year as well. So Commonwealth Health is
That's
able
from
to
Commonwealth
bring,
Health,
absolutely,
yeah.
they are bringing out their dental bus this year. So I'm really excited about that.
That is new. But it sounds like there's going to be a number of health screenings.
Absolutely, everything, blood pressure.
Like BMI. Well, I know Novant Health will be doing their health screenings that they typically do, and that includes BMI, blood pressure, A1Cs, and cholesterol, and all that stuff.
Everybody's always excited about the cholesterol.
They all want their cholesterol.
But we will also have bone density screenings.
Nice.
Vision screenings, hearing screenings. So.
And some of those are for children too. Will they do hearing
Absolutely.
for children?
They will do hearing for children and vision as well.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, that's great. Talk about the mobile mammo.
That is such a wonderful thing that you have been able to offer with us. We have so enjoyed being able to partner with you the last several years to be able to offer the mobile mammo. And I know that people need to call and pre-register for that, and I'm sure that you have a number for them to be able to call and pre-register. But it is such a wonderful way for people to be able to come out and get that much needed screening.
Yeah, and again, there are financial incentives or opportunities for folks who cannot afford or do not have insurance to have the mammography done, and all that paperwork would be just completed right there. There's a registration booth right when you walk in front of the door. You register there and fill out all of your insurance information. Right.
If you do not have insurance information, there are other avenues that are available there.
Absolutely.
But we do need you to come in and register indoors before you go out to the mammo.
Right, and they'll see the bus out in the parking lot, but they do need to come in and register first and do the paperwork, and then they'll be escorted out to the bus for their mammogram. So that is, and we're really happy that we can, at Novant Health, can do that again. I think there's free medication drop-off.
And that has been such a great event for many years now. There is a free medication disposal at the event.
Nice. The sheriff's department's usually there and helping out.
Absolutely, they have to be there for that. There are no questions asked. You can bring in
whatever,
anything, over-the-counter medications, any controlled substances, needles, whatever you need to bring in. No questions asked. We'll just dispose of it safely.
Right, and shredding.
So that was such a great thing that you were able to offer us. I think this will be the third year.
I've been saving up my shredding.
I know. I think, oh my goodness, we had so much stuff last year that we carried. But that is a great event. We have had several people already calling to see.
Oh, good.
To make sure that that's going to be available again this year.
Oh, that's great.
And we will also have pet adoptions, so don't forget about that. We're having pet adoptions again this year.
So will the animals really be there?
They will be there. Awesome. You can come out and see the animals and hopefully take one home.
I have 2 at home already, Christy. I don't need another one.
One of the ladies that works with me took one home last year with her, so I was excited about that.
Wow. Well, that sounds great, and I know that I'm looking forward to the Brunswick Beacon Health Expo, but remind our viewers the day and the time again.
It is Saturday, March 23rd, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Schlote Middle School. And if you have any other questions about it, please feel free to call me at 754-6890, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Great, and we'll run that on the screen. We'll run that phone number of how to register for mammograms.
That sounds great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here.
And thank
I'm going to see you on the 23rd,
Absolutely.
or maybe I'll see you sooner in Belk or something.
I'm sure you will.
Thanks again, Christy.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to ATMC TV's Health Watch. I hope this information was beneficial for you and your family. If you have any questions or topics that you would like to see discussed on a future show, please email them to atmctv@atmc.com. Visit NovantHealth.org for more information on Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center, local doctors, and general health information. Thanks again for joining us today. Be sure to join us next time for Health Watch on ATMC TV.
This is ATMC TV, your community channel.